Hey guys, welcome back. Only a few more months until my 1-year anniversary on YouTube. Thank you so much for making my first year here on YouTube so much fun. I started making videos because I thought that it would be a fun thing to do, but what has made it an amazing experience is being able to connect with all of you. And to celebrate my first year on YouTube, I will be doing a giveaway as well as making a special video for you guys. The very first video that I uploaded to YouTube was 10 unusual pets. And it has been one of my most popular videos. You guys love it. So I'm going to be doing a video that's similar to that. I'm going to be taking some of my pets and introducing them to you guys, telling you a little bit about each one. But I am going to let you pick which pets. So let me know which of my animals has been your favorite, which ones you love seeing, which ones have inspired you. And I'm going to take the ones that get the most requests and put them in that video. And I will also be doing a giveaway, and you guys will find out more about that soon. Today's video, we're going to be talking about whether or not your pet needs a friend. Sometimes people say get 2 guinea pigs or only get 1 hamster, and this is not based on guesses, and this is not based on one person's experience with that animal. There is an actual way in which we determine if an animal is better off alone or if they are better off with companionship. I hope this video helps you provide your pet with the social interaction that they need. I'm Megan with Happy Tails Pet Care, and I'm a professional pet expert and nutrition consultant. My goal is to educate people about animals and help pet owners provide the best care to their beloved pets. See a pet in my video you like? Let me know, and I will feature that pet in more videos. So first of all, when trying to determine if an animal is better off alone or with a companion in the same cage, animal behavioralists will research the animal's natural behavior in the wild. In nature, some animals live together, and examples of this are horses, prairie dogs, and chinchillas. And other animals only come together to breed and otherwise don't really want much to do with their own species. And examples of this are Syrian hamsters, hedgehogs, and ball pythons. The best thing you can do for your pet is try to provide it with a life that is similar to what they would have in nature. And this means giving it the type of food that they would be looking for in nature. For example, sugar gliders, giving them bugs. Toys that would mimic something that they would do in the wild, for example, giving a cat a mouse toy. And providing the social life that they would want in nature, such as providing parakeets with a cage mate. It is super important to research what your pet's natural behavior would be like in the wild to determine whether or not they need a companion. Because providing a companion for an animal like a hedgehog can cause unnecessary stress to both animals, and both animals could actually injure each other. They will feel that their space is being invaded and they might try to harm each other. But keeping an animal like a guinea pig in solitary confinement will result in that animal being extremely stressed and also cause depression. Stress and depression can cause health problems, and animals that have high levels of stress can also be self-harming. Usually the reason that certain animals enjoy a solitary life is because they are territorial, they do not want competition for food, and they would be aggressive towards other members of their species. Possums live alone and have their own territories because they hunt smaller animals for food, and they don't want to have to compete with other possums for food. The reason that certain animals enjoy companionship is either because they are herd animals, or they form a very strong bond with a mate in order to take care of their young. Herd animals feel safer in a group. And then certain types of birds, for example, will naturally want to find a mate because they will need the help of a mate in order to care for young. Deer, for example, travel in herds, and to that one deer, it feels that it is safer traveling with the herd because it is less likely to be eaten since there are a lot of other deer. So even if your pet isn't going to have to compete for food or raise young, they still have instincts that make them want certain things. So in order to provide them with a good life, you have to be able to fulfill those needs. The second thing to think about is intelligence and your animal's ability to form bonds with members of other species. You cannot fulfill a guinea pig's need for companionship with anything other than a guinea pig. But an animal like a mini pig is extremely intelligent and can form bonds with members of other species. This is because some animals can learn how to communicate with members of other species, while for other animals it's not as easy. For example, dogs would travel in packs in the wild. Even feral dogs will immediately form a pack. However, there are lots of people who have only one dog and the dog's perfectly happy. That is because the dog sees their human family as their pack. Dogs are able to see us as part of their pack. So some animals can form the companionship that they need with humans while others cannot. And this really depends on the type of animal. For example, fish will not be able to form a bond with humans and should be kept in groups, depending on the species, of course. And this also depends on how well socialized an animal is with humans. If a parrot is afraid of interacting with humans, then it will be very lonely if kept by itself. But if the parrot was hand-fed and very much enjoys human companionship, it'll be perfectly happy being the only bird in the house. And of course, this also depends on how much time you're able to spend with the animal. Rats, for example, are extremely intelligent and form very close bonds with humans. However, they require companionship 24/7, and that is impossible to give. Other animals like dogs and mini pigs won't mind some time alone. And of course, there are exceptions to this. Some guinea pigs will be very aggressive to other guinea pigs. But before deciding that social animals cannot live together, there are a couple of things that you need to check. Have the animals been properly introduced to each other? Do the animals have a large enough cage? Are the animals fighting over food? Are all of the care requirements being met? Are there any other factors that could be causing these animals stress, such as a cat harassing them? Or temperature changes. All of those things can contribute to animals not getting along when they should. And some animals that usually get along with groups might not get along with certain animals. For example, you probably have lots of friends, but there's some people you just don't like. There's just some people you just don't click with. And it's the same thing for animals. But before deciding that an animal that is usually social has to live alone, make sure that you check everything that's going on with the animal to make sure that there is nothing that is causing them stress to make them aggressive. And remember that they are the exception. Don't think that just because those animals had to be separated, that all animals of that species will react in the same way. Too often do people with bad experiences give bad advice. And there are also exceptions with animals that are usually solitary in nature. Sometimes in captivity, they do get along with animals of their species or other animals. And as I mentioned, some animals can form bonds with animals of other species. So their need for companionship can not only be met by human companionship, it can also be fulfilled by other members of the family, such as dogs and cats. So before I end this video, I will tell you about a few commonly kept pets that need to be kept in groups or they need their own cage. Guinea pigs should absolutely never be kept alone. Rarely they will fight with other guinea pigs, and in that case they need to be put in a separate cage, but the cages need to be next to each other. A couple types of dwarf hamsters do well in groups. They do live in groups in the wild, however some do need to be separated. Syrian hamsters, which are the larger hamsters, need to be kept by themselves. Rats should always be kept in groups of 2 or more. There are no exceptions to that. Sugar gliders should always be kept in groups. That's another one with no exceptions. Gerbils should be kept in groups. Usually male gerbils will actually do very well in groups. Females are the ones that tend to have more problems with fighting, and occasionally they will need to be separated. But just like guinea pigs, it's a good idea that if you do have to separate them, to have their cages put next to each other. Hedgehogs should live by themselves, and putting them together can result in injury. Opossums should also be kept by themselves. Rabbits should be kept with rabbits. However, sometimes they're able to bond with other animals. This is a little bit more of an exception though. Ferrets are better off in groups, but they can live alone if you're able to give them a lot of attention and if they're able to play with other animals, such as dogs or cats. Finches and canaries should be kept in groups. Parrots can often be kept just by themselves if they're given a lot of interaction and enjoy human companionship. But smaller parrots like parakeets that usually are not hand-fed are better off with groups. Most snake species should also live alone. Bearded dragons are usually better off by themselves. Chameleons are better off by themselves unless they are pygmy chameleons. Those ones don't seem to mind being in groups, but they would be fine by themselves as well. With geckos, usually females can be kept together. However, males are usually best kept separate, and of course they are also fine alone. Pigs can be kept alone if given a lot of attention. Turtles are fine alone or together, but if they are together, they need a lot of space. Goats, sheep, and alpacas should always be kept in groups. Horses can be kept in groups, or they can be kept alone if interacted with a lot. Llamas should be kept with other animals. It doesn't have to be llamas as long as they are with other animals. Dagoos and mice are animals that should be kept in groups as well. Chickens, ducks, and really almost all birds should be kept in groups. Dogs only need a companion if they are alone often, and cats usually do just fine by themselves even if their human does work a lot. Hopefully that covers some basic pets for you. If you have one of those animals and they are living alone, it's never too late to get a companion for them. I'll try to do a video in the future about proper introductions between animals. If you have any of those animals that are better off alone and they are living together, I would suggest you get another cage for the other animal. And there's also the exception for animals who have lost their companion. For example, if you have 2 rats between the ages of 2.5 years to 3 years and one of them dies, it's okay to keep that rat alone if you don't want to get more rats. You just need to keep that rat comfortable and happy until they do pass. I hope this video helped you learn more about your pet's social behavior, and if you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more animal videos. You can also find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Bye! The first question comes from Biscuit Buddies. I have 3 questions. How long does it take you to feed, water, etc. for all of your pets in one day? What was your first pet and what was its name? Who is the oldest pet you have?